And the United Nations has declared 1975 to be International Women's Year, and they have chosen this song as their theme. I think you know the one I mean. I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers two.
Also known as the Women's Liberation Movement, it occurred in the 1960s and 70s. Some historians trace the origin of the movement to the New Left and Civil Rights Movement of the 1950s and 60s. Women who worked in the movements found that they were not treated equally. It was like how Lucretia Mott and Elizabeth Cady Stanton began to organize for women's rights after being excluded by men in anti-slavery groups. And all that other fun stuff that we learned about when we read Founding Sisters. In the 1960s, women were greatly limited in their life choices. One of the causes of the movement was the desire to have access to birth control. Another cause was the invention of mechanized labor-saving devices. That's just a fancy term for stuff like vacuums and dishwashers. These gave women more free time, and they wanted to do more with their lives. One woman often credited with the starting of the movement was Betty Friedan. She grew up watching her suburban housewife mother grow bitter from leaving her career to raise children. Friedan also grew up to be a housewife and wrote The Feminine Mystique in 1962. This book caused an uproar when it contradicted the belief that women were happy in their housewife positions. What a surprise. Another significant woman was the radical college student Robin Morgan. This is what she looks like now. She's kind of a cute older lady, isn't she? Well, in the 1960s, she was active in civil rights organizations, and she went on to find WITCH, the Women's International Terrorist Conspiracy from Hell. Nice name, right? I mean, hell, terrorist, conspiracy, women. That'd be enough to scare any man in the 1960s, am I right? They organized the famous protest of the Miss America pageant of 1968. Activists there protested against the objectification of women, and it gained widespread news coverage. They threw symbols of female oppression like detergent, wigs, girdles, bras, and even Playboys into the trash can. This started the stereotype that feminists were bra burners, even though nothing was actually set on fire at the protest. They even crowned a sheep as the queen. One positive effect in the end of the movement was consciousness-raising groups, giving women opportunity to share things with other women they previously were silent about, like sexual harassment and the confinement of their home lives. Women were also granted access to abortion rights and birth control. However, many minority women were working just as hard to have their voices heard, but they were often discriminated against and left out of the history books. Fannie Lou Hamer dedicated her life to fight for female and civil rights. She was forcibly sterilized and would fight for reproductive rights and against hospitals sterilizing African American women without their consent. Another activist, Flo Kennedy, famously said, "If men could get pregnant, abortion would be a sacrament." In 1966, Barbara Jordan was elected to the Texas Senate. She was the first African American woman in the Texas legislation. Janice Marie Kitani was an Asian American poet and activist. She attended UCLA, earning a Bachelor of Arts degree. After participating in the Asian American Political Alliance, she joined Third World Communications. Another problem caused by the movement was political lesbianism and separatism. Political lesbianism caused certain radicals to accuse women of being hypocrites for fighting for women's rights but then still going home to their husbands every night. Though this time period did give genuine lesbians more confidence, it caused others to resent radicals. Separatists believed that women and men should live separately, whether in separate houses or even hemispheres. Both political lesbians and separatism led to negative feminist stereotypes. The women's movement used different ways to strive for equality. The new services they created, like rape crisis centers and women's shelters, were all incorporated into mainstream society. There was also a significant increase of women in the workplace. And also, the second wave of feminism led to the third wave of feminism, where punk rock finally came into existence, and punk led to the Riot Grrrl subgenre, and who doesn't like underground feminist punk music? Am I right? No? Okay.